Is Nigel Farage really a friend of the working class? Well, this week in the House of Commons, MPs will be debating new third-party rules that will provide legal protections from abusive customers, patients as well as drinkers. Now, the bill says that the employees will have to take reasonable steps to protect their staff from harassment from customers. Now, we all can agree with that, can't we? So imagine if your wife, daughter, or your sister, or your mother is being harassed by a patron behind the bar, I suppose, where she works, and she complains to her boss about this, and he tells her that she should just suck it up because you're trying to stifle free speech and pub debates. Yes, Refuck supporters, the love of your life, Nigel Farage, thinks that your wife, daughter, or sister, and possibly your mother, he thinks that they should just all suck it up, snowflake, because they're trying to stifle bants and debate. Imagine your mum, wife, sister or daughter is working in a supermarket and she approaches a shoplifter who abuses her and threatens to come after her children if she gets in the way. Well, that's what happened to Finola Zagaraki. Sorry if I butchered it, I do apologise. Well, that's her first fault right there, isn't it? You know, for our racist, xenophobic Nigel Farage. Because she has a foreign name, so of course he won't give a shit about her. But to her, and I quote, "These measures couldn't come fast enough, yet politicians like Nigel Farage don't think I and other workers should be protected from workplace abuse. He thinks these protections will end pub banter." And remember that the next time you see him claiming to be on the side of the working class. He's on the side of harassment, exploitation and bad bosses. And no doubt he will say that it's her own fault for stealing a wage from someone who was born here, irrespective if Finola was born here or not in the first place, because that's the person he is, and he attracts the same people like him who are racist, xenophobic and also conspiracy theorist cranks. And if you don't like being called racist or xenophobic, tough. If you waddle like a duck, quack like a duck, you're a duck, aren't you? So, if you follow a man who is, as I quote from the founder of UKIP, Professor Alan Sked said, and I quote, "Why does anyone have time for this creature? He's a dim-witted racist." That's a quote not from some lefty wokey snowflake from the Socialist Workers' Party. No, that came from one of your own, the founder of UKIP. So if you love this man, it's because he panders to your racist, xenophobic tendencies, and just accept the fact that you like him because he is racist and xenophobic like you. So someone else who also agrees with Finola is Paul Newark, who's the General Secretary of the Trades Union Congress, and he said, and I quote, "Protecting workers from harassment and abuse is just basic decency and common sense." But the likes of Kemi Badenoch and Nigel Farage think that workers don't deserve these vital protections. The Tories and Reform are conflating abuse and harassment with pub banter. It's plain wrong and insulting. Too many retail workers, pub staff and hospital workers are abused on a daily basis, especially women. And that's why Labour's Employment Rights Bill is so important. It will ensure employers have a duty to protect their staff from harassment and abuse, as well as introducing other long overdue rights like ending fire and rehire and banning exploitative zero-hour contracts. So, all you Refuck supporters and those who have your little shrines of Nigel Farage at the side of your beds, if your mother, wife, daughter or sisters are being regularly abused at work by customers and their boss is disinterested, are you going to go down there and demand that their boss makes the reasonable steps to protect them from abuse? Or are you just going to say that they should just suck it up, buttercup, and all they're doing is stifling freedom of speech and pub debates because the love of your life, Nigel Farage, said so? Then you head back to your bedroom with an enormous horn for Nigel Farage for a couple of hours. And I have to say, when it comes to cultists, I find the Farage cultists fascinating to a degree because what's so fascinating about the man? He's racist, he's xenophobic and very, very boring. When you need to wear a tie, in the colours of the Union Jack or your socks or your shoes, or all of them at once to make yourself look interesting because you have nothing interesting to say, it kind of says a lot about his patriotism, doesn't it? And when he does open his mouth, all you say is racist, xenophobic filth, attacking minorities, Maybe that's all it is. I don't know. Maybe that's why you like him so much, you Refuck supporters, because he's racist and xenophobic. And that's why you love him so much, because you're racist and xenophobic. Maybe that is all it is. I don't know. But all I see is a lying, racist, xenophobic grifter. A grifter who doesn't care about the working class, never has, and this statement about stifling freedom of speech and pub debates nonsense proves that. But you'll still vote for him though, won't you? Because he panders to your racist, xenophobic tendencies, doesn't he? Yes, you will, Refuck supporters. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below, and if you want to watch a video about Nigel Farage's immigration plan being wonderfully exposed, please watch this video here, and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.